Almost, there we go. This is for your, the mic is good for your height. Yeah. Do you want it up a little more?
No, that's good.
Okay, now we're good to go. Okay, we are beginning our next speaker. Please quiet your conversations. Thank you so very much. It is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. She's really fascinating. She's going to talk about one of my favorite places in the world, and that's Egypt. And so without further ado, let me introduce Susan Sacco. She will be speaking about Egypt and her Sakkara videos.
Thank you. Good afternoon, my brothers and sisters of the light, gods and goddesses. I don't know if any of you know what this is called. It's a sistrum. They used to play that in ancient Egyptian times. It was played by the high priestess. My name is Susan Sacco. I'm from New York. This is my second conference. Last July, I was honored to be able to actually take the stage with Miss Mary Hardy and also be ordained as a minister, which is such a high honor. Real briefly, last March of 2024, I was doing a little research online about the Holy Grail. It was around Easter time, and there was a lot of programs about that. It led me to a book by Mary Hardy. And before I bought the book, I did a lot of research, watched all the videos online to see what it was all about, and then I was like, I've got to get involved in this. I ordered her book. I called the number. She put her phone number in the book. She didn't answer right away, and I was like, oh no. A half hour later, the phone rang. It was her, and she invited me to the Sisterhood Conference, the spring conference, and the rest is history. Mary, I felt very connected to her as a sister. We both felt our talkings that we shared. A past time together, and that we actually had a mission together in this lifetime pertaining to the Hall of Records. I touched upon that a little bit last year at the conference, but a lot has happened in the last year, and I had walked around with this information that was provided to me back in 2014 when I lived in Egypt. A vision that was shown to me at the pyramids that, like the good initiate, I had to just, zip it, lock it, and not talk about it because it was so secret. But now the cat's out of the bag, because one of the things I'll be talking about today is my recent trip to Egypt in March. It was an 18-day journey. I stayed specifically in Giza so I could be as close to the pyramids and that energy and the Sphinx as possible. But my main reason for going was to meet an archaeologist from Italy by the name of Armando May and his team from Italy. I had been having conversations with him on Messenger for 4 years because I saw that he was doing a tremendous amount of research on the Khafre pyramid. And that's the pyramid that I had the vision at. So I reached out to him to kind of get a feel for, is he somebody I can open up to spiritually, just scientific minded? Did he have a belief system that gone beyond the scientific? Because most of you probably aware of Edgar Cayce's work on the Hall of Records and the readings and how they talk about that, we will unveil that in our lifetime. But he said in his readings that it would be 2 people and a guide. So if I was being shown in explicit detail by extraterrestrial beings in the day of light, a specific chamber inside the Khafre pyramid, which I couldn't talk about before today, I knew that maybe I was one of them. Why else would I be shown this? I was pretty sure it was the Hall of Records or the Tomb of Osiris. I couldn't be sure. But I knew that there was another person that was supposed to be involved, and I was on the search for this person. And Armando May and his 2 partners, Filippo Bionde and Corrado Malaga, the 3 of them only took the satellite scans, but what was so profound about their research, which is the most earth-shattering discovery in our lifetime. So if you're not familiar with it, I am going to show you a little bit about it today. he invited me out to Egypt to meet with him, and the most profound thing that could ever really happen to me was that when I was able to draw for him the vision that I saw, he confirmed that the chamber was there and that he had picked it up in the scans. Their scans, the reason why they're so different than anybody else's work is because Filippo Biondi, which is one of the three partners, wrote the code. He's a physicist, and he literally wrote the code to decipher the satellite scans. They've been hit with a lot of controversy. There are people that really believe in it. There are people that are wanting to negate their findings. People like Zawi Hawass, who people have a love-hate relationship with Zawi Hawass. He's really not too keen on allowing them, because the next step would be for them to actually go in and do the excavations and physically, and I think that's going to be a real hard call. But I just wanted to start off by welcoming you all to a little bit of my Egyptian tour. So in addition to going to meet Armando, I also went to Sakkara with the goal of carrying Mary's work forward. As a lot of you have seen the video, where we did the actual Holy Grail vortex and we performed it inside the tomb of Ptah-hotep at Sakkara, which was just a dream come true for me, really. So this is a little bit of my camel ride. Just thought maybe you guys get a little enjoyment there. Welcome to the pyramids, everybody. Have you ever ridden a camel? Anybody here ever ridden a camel? I know you have. Camel. What a trip getting on a camel. So you have to, the back legs go up first, so you're on a 45-degree angle, holding on for dear life. And then they bring the front legs up. It's quite funny. And they usually give them funny American names like, Charlie Brown and Michael Jackson. So anyway, next video. All right, so what I wanted to show you next was a couple of the scenes from Sakkara. This is the entry into the Serapeum, everybody. When Mary Hardy, and I believe that, I remember from last year, Doug has been inside the Serapeum, but there were a few people that have been to Egypt and been to Sakkara, but at the time, the Serapeum was not open. So these are all videos that I took specifically so I could share them with you all if you've never been there. So these are the stairs that descend down several stories, built into the side of the rock. And you descend down into that area where they have all the tunnels and the large granite sarcophagi that nobody really has quite figured out what the purpose of them were. Oh, I think Mary has probably figured that one out. So that's just a little drama upon entering the Serapeum. I am actually going to be conducting a tour. I'm putting together a tour next March. It's called the Divine Goddess Tour. All right, so let's see what else we got here to share with you. This is not Sakkara. This is inside the temple of Ty. He was a very high official in the 5th dynasty. And you basically look into the wall and you see his statue behind the wall. It's really quite exciting to come upon that. I don't know if you want to see that again, but what's that? Everybody want to see that one more time?
Just pause it at the end.
Okay. Yeah, so that's Ty. And then
So was that a member of a family?
he was he was official. I'm not really sure if he was a member of a family. But the Sakkara is all the early dynasties, like the 1st Pharaonic dynasty through the 5th dynasty. So these are some of the hieroglyphs that you'll see on the walls down in the Serapeum. That's a kind of a short clip,
So
sorry,
they
but
carved those out.
yeah, these are all carvings that when you come through that doorway, when you descend down that stairs, the first thing you see when you walk in is these carvings on the walls. I haven't learned to read hieroglyphs. I would love to. I personally do not. Does anybody here know how to read hieroglyphs? Doug, of course. Dumb question. I only know that Isis is the chair. Looks like a throne chair. Um, let's see this one here. Okay, these are the tunnels, okay? What Mary Hardy would talk about, right? That the pyramids were built at Saqqara. All the Atlanteans came, they brought all their rods of baton, their instruments, and they literally carved the blocks of stone at Saqqara, used that South Pole energy to South Pole energy to be able to levitate the stones, used that crook and flail to carry the four corners, and as they went through the tunnel system, they would be singing what song? Green Sleeves, yes. That was the tip of the iceberg. I mean, the tip of the iceberg. It was the pieces of the puzzle of my journey personally that when I met Mary, everything came together. There was a lot of information that was missing that Mary's work really filled in all the gaps for me. And here's, as you can see, how lengthy these tunnels go. Did you see the sarcophagus boxes that were they still haven't quite figured out what they were for, but inside they have perfect 90-degree angles, such as the blocks of the pyramids. And they say they were for bowls, but I don't believe that that's the case at all. You know, if anything, I think that maybe it was like a school. Sakkara was a school, right? So if anything, I think it was maybe they were teaching some of the young and up-and-coming apprentice, to actually learn how to wield those rods of baton. And maybe that's where they practiced cutting out the stones to make the Great Pyramid, because once that stone was lifted out, they left a perfect 90-degree angle, and where did the blocks go? So, when I named my brand, all of you, I don't know if you're familiar with the oils upstairs, those are all my oils from Egypt, and when I named my brand, I didn't name it Sakkara because I didn't know anything about my connection to Sakkara at the time. I was just looking for an Egyptian name that I thought sounded catchy and was short and sweet, and it actually had my last name embedded in it, Saccc. I thought, perfect, And then all these years later, I discovered Mary in the Temple of Sakkara, and it's just like, oh my God, it wasn't a coincidence at all that I named my brand Sakkara. Let me see, is that the same one I just did? No, that's the one I just did. Okay. Oh, that's just me using my system, but I wanted to show you all that how much I honor my sash, and I brought it with me to Egypt to use for the ceremony at Sakkara. That's the Pyramid of Djoser. This is an area that's like near and dear to my heart because it's a ritual bathing area at Sakkara, which is quite beautiful. You can just imagine what it would have been like back in the day. Let's see what else we got here. Orbs, yeah. Okay. This ball, Paul, I see all the videos, but I'm not seeing the photos. But, okay. I had some photos of the. Have any of you seen the actual images that came through for this Khafre Pyramid project with this new discovery under the Giza Plateau? Okay. I did have some photos. I'm sorry I didn't make it. But basically, I met Armando in March before he unveiled all the information to the world, and I was very honored to be able to see the scans before they even were shown to anybody. And basically, there's columns that go down 2 kilometers into the ground that they found under the Khafre Pyramid. They've also found 2 different chambers inside the Khafre Pyramid. One is the Tomb of Osiris, one is the Hall of Records. They're now finding things under the Sphinx as well. I have a personal life mission with the pyramids and the Hall of Records. And one of the things that I've actually been seeking to find, which is not an easy task, is like an oval or round-shaped room that would be under the Sphinx. See, Edgar Cayce talked about the Hall of Records being under the Sphinx. But what it really is that the Hall of Records is activated under the Sphinx using a resonance chamber. It's just a round room. There's, no hieroglyphs, nothing, or no fancy ornaments or anything like that. But what it is a chamber for sound. Now, when I received the vision, when I was at the pyramids, I was also given a major download of information. And when I was literally on my friend's balcony when this happened, and I've never been able to share this with you all because, again, I felt like it was so sacred, I was afraid to share it. I thought if I talked about it, it would spoil the mission, But now that they found them, the scans are out and it's out there and it's been confirmed, I feel a little more comfortable talking about it. But there were 2 beings hovering above the Khafre Pyramid. One was a male extraterrestrial being and the other one was a female lioness. She actually had a crown. I guess maybe that's who Sekhmet represents. They were hovering over the pyramids, and the male was pointing with a very long finger and showing me, where to go in, showing me somebody walking up the stairs, use his finger to point over and down, and then outline the actual chamber in light. And they showed it to me probably 3 times to ingrain it in my brain, I still don't know how that's going to happen, but then again, I've learned to stop asking the hows, because years ago, one of my mentors who told me that we had an ancient Egyptian past together, said, one day you'll be opening portals. And I looked at her like she had 3 heads. And then I discovered Mary's work in the Holy Grail Vortex. Right? So I'm not worrying about the how, but I really do believe that the Holy Grail Vortex is a very integral part of what it is that I'm going to be doing there with my mission with regards to the Hall of Records. And because I do think that we're probably going to have to access that more etherically than physically, I don't know, a lot of you had gotten an email with the video from Sakkara in the tomb. But for those of you who didn't, I wanted to play it again. I hope you don't mind seeing it one more time. Okay. And then afterwards, I'm going to show you, before we started the ceremony, I was giving the girls instructions as to what to do, how to turn, and you can see the orbs of light coming into the space. Okay, let's see. All right, so this is the ceremony. I love the honor of the very heart of the temple of Sakkara in Egypt. Very honestly, we pray for your help. We thank you for all the lives and your incredible life. I love you. Can you hear it? I dedicated it to Mary Hardy. The force of life is the mind of God. Let light stream forth into the mind of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center, the will of God come home. The purpose guide the rules of men. The purpose is the master know and serve. From the center, we should call the race of men. Let the plan of love and light work out. and made a sealed door where evil dwells. Let light and come and power restore the plan of earth. Let light and love and power restore the plan of earth. Let light and love and power restore the plan of earth. These were three women that I had just met for the very first time on my journey. So talking about creating satellite locations for the sisterhood, we are international now, okay? One is from South Africa, one is from Canada, and one is from Britain. And we have carried on the work. I was recently up in the Catskill Mountains at a resort with a beautiful fountain with 4 goddesses for the 4 seasons. And my friend was in Egypt. And we all got on Zoom together and we did a Holy Grail Vortex together. So carrying forth that work of Mary's is so important to me. She meant a lot to me. I miss her so very much. I miss being able to call her. And I did call her when I was in Egypt. She was aware that I was in Egypt. I sent her some pictures of me, riding camels, and I think she got a real kick out of that, in the final days that she had with us. And she did know that I did this video. I don't know if she could see it now, but she didn't physically see it, unfortunately, because by the time I only played it after her passing. But I know that she knew about it, and I think it brought her a lot of joy, and that's the only reason why I did it, just to make Mary happy. And I'm loving this weekend. I think this is a beautiful space. I'm really thrilled. I mean, I personally did call camps myself, and they were all booked up. So how this happened is a small miracle. We're blessed. I think Mary definitely had her hand in that. Oh, I just X'd out of the file. So sorry. This is one more thing I wanted to show you all. I had some pictures of the Caffrey Pyramid Project, but I do have them on my phone if anybody would like to see them. But it is really quite talked about. And being as our sisterhood is all about ancient Egypt, I think it would, we owe it to ourselves all to know what's really going on, because we are affecting what's happening in Egypt and vice versa. Okay, thank you, yeah. Okay, so you got to look kind of quick because it happens in the very beginning of the clip. But if you look at the lower right, like the lower part of the video, is when you can see the orbs of light coming in before we started the ceremony. See it? You see them all coming in? I'll play it again because that's, yeah, it's really fast, and that's how spirit works. So here I am basically directing everyone what to do, and as I'm directing everyone to do, the spirit world is getting ready to do their work. And, I don't know how many are aware of that, but it just so happened to be March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. It wasn't planned. It was the day before I was flying back, and I was like, oh my God, we have to go to Sakkara. And it turned out to be St. Patrick's Day. So I thought that was kind of special. And it wasn't really planned. I mean, I just met these girls. I said, I wrangled them up. I said, I want you all to look like goddesses, and this is what we're going to do. But when I went home a couple of weeks later, I started seeing TikToks about the human resonance, having blackouts and whiteouts and all kinds of, anomalies. So I said, let me just go check it out and see, did anything happen on March 17th? I was in shock. There was a 60-hour blackout of the Schumann resonance on March 17th. As a result of the work that we did in this tomb, of all the work that we have done collectively here at Sakkara, every single one of us are former Atlanteans reincarnated back at this time for this mission and this purpose. So even though I might be one of those people that were chosen to actually almost get myself killed to try to unveil something. We are all part of that mission, and I couldn't be doing my mission without you all, without Mary's work. So I thank you all. You're all so loving and kind, and it's the most encouraging, non-judgmental, loving group of people I've ever met in my life. So thank you all. I last like to say that when in 2014, in 2012, I went through my crisis consciousness experience with the light, where my third eye was open. I received the gifts of telepathic communication, healing hands, and things like that. And then in 2014, I was summoned to Egypt on a week's notice by a channeled message that came through my son. While I was living there, I was living at a hotel for probably the first 5 months, looking at the pyramids every day. And at that time, it was very cheap, actually. And I just remember looking at the two pyramids, and in between those pyramids looked like an etheric, upside-down pyramid that was being somehow cradled, like a child in a mother's arms. And I actually wrote a song that is a hymn for the pyramids. And I had it in me all these years, and I wanted to record it in Egypt. And when I went in March, I finally got to record the song. So we're doing the video in a very ancient pharaonic style. It kind of flashes back between now and ancient times, and I'm very proud. It's been a lot of work. It's not 100% complete, but I have a little teaser of the intro, and again, not perfected, but just enough to probably show you all where we're going with the video. And my goal is to have it completed, because we're going to be unveiling it at the Global Pyramid Conference in Illinois in September. Marta, our sister, when she saw the Sakkara ceremony, invited me to lead that ceremony and do it at the opening ceremony for the Pyramid Conference. And lo and behold, Armando May of Italy, who I actually went to Egypt to meet, is going to be a speaker there. So this is all really happening, And he expressed a lot of interest, actually, in Mary's work, because I took her book, Pyramid Energy, with me. I discussed Mary when we, after our meeting, they were so gracious. They invited me, to dinner with them, and I had some time to talk to Armando, and I told him about Mary. I told him about the Holy Grail. He was like, oh, I'm really interested in learning more about it. Now he's going to actually get to see it in person, demonstrated at the conference. So I'm really excited about that. We're taking our show on the road. We're taking our Holy Grail Vortex on the road. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I just wanted to play you a little snippet of my new song. I've toyed around with the name of the song a little bit, because I wrote it as a lullaby, but lullaby doesn't really translate well in Arabic, and this song was recorded in Egypt in Arabic style, and we're actually pitching it to the Egyptian government for use in the opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum. I don't know if you're all familiar, but the Grand Egyptian Museum they've had their soft opening. They haven't had their grand opening yet, but it is spectacular. And I was there in March. So don't know if it'll happen, fingers crossed. But in the beginning of the video, we decided to use an ancient chant for Isis, which was actually done in the ancient pharaonic language. And I was told, you can't use theirs. You need to learn it and sing it. Okay. So a couple of days in Egypt, I studied it. I watched the opera singer who performed it. I watched her lips and tried to get everything down right to be able to perform a couple of lines of the chant for Isis. So I'll play that for you now. Number 9. There it is. Okay. No, that's not it. Sorry. I don't know which one it is. Maybe it's this one. No. My apologies. No. Sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to. Here we go. Wait, can you scroll that down on the right? I'm not seeing the scroll thing. Here. Just arrow down, maybe? Oh, slide up. Okay, thank you. But, I don't remember which one it is. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't remember which file it is. I just had it up a minute ago.
Slide down.
No, it only goes this far, but I need Paul's help. Bear with me a moment. No, so sorry. I thought it was number 9, but it's not. Maybe it's not. Yeah, here it is. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I screwed up. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I can't seem to get it right. God, Lord, hear my prayer. No. This one? Yes. I told you about the consorts.
I know you did.
That's my friend dancing the... It says, may the gods adore the mistress Isis. She gave birth to the morning sun. That's me in my Pharaonic outfit. That's all I have for you today. I'm so sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry it's not complete, but I wanted to at least give you a little bit of a sneak peek. So, all that being said, I am just thrilled to have been here. Thank you so much for all having me speak once again this year. I carry Mary forth in my heart, in my work. I have a sisterhood where I live in Long Beach, where I'll be teaching the Holy Grail Vortex to as well. And I look forward to many more years to come of this conference, and I'm really looking forward to where we're all going as a planet and as a species. And the song itself, if you really listen to the words, says, in the arms of the pyramids, ooh, lies the heart of a nation. In the heart of the pyramids, ooh, find the truth of all creation. Meaning, when we find the Hall of Records and all the knowledge from Atlantis, it will be a celebration for all humanity. It goes on to talk about, the excitement of the pyramids and the power of the pyramids. And I truly believe that it will be like a revelation when this information is revealed to the world. And my prayer is that it happens soon, and of course, only to the right hands. I love you all.